What is going on, everybody? Hambone here with a little bit of NCAA college. Obviously, look at this, baby. War Damn Eagle. And Auburn's still in the NIT. But we're going to talk about, I guess, a little bit of a more prestigious tournament, which is the actual March Madness. Okay? Obviously, I'm loving the March Madness. Got some good games in here. Got some buzzer beaters, like in the early rounds and everything. Had a couple of upsets, which makes it a little bit of an interesting ordeal. But we just started the Sweet 16. I wanted to go ahead and go over the first section of these games that we just had tonight. We had Purdue versus Texas. I was hoping Texas, an 11 seed, would make it past this because, like, I think the lowest rated seed that's ever won the tournament is like an 8 seed. Villanova, I think it was. Well, Texas, I thought, because they did have size and stuff, they could actually make it. And shoot, man, they proved they took Purdue to the wire. This is one of the more excited game. Trey Kaufman-Renn ended up doing a tip at the very end of it with 7 seconds left in the game to end up giving them the 2-point lead, which ended up being the difference in the ball game because Texas could not get super lucky with like Kentucky did earlier in this tournament and make like a past half court like shot there at the very end. But one of the things I will say is Kaufman-Renn's a good player. But one of the things about this game when I was watching it that I did not like is I don't like floppers. And this Kaufman-Renn guy did that a couple of times in this thing. I think he got a couple of calls called his way that could have made a difference in this game. Not gonna lie, like, just unbiased. I don't have anything to. I don't care that much for Texas, except for I was kind of rooting for the underdog. But besides that, I don't have any biases here. I don't care for Texas. Don't care for Purdue, either way. But like I said, Renn did well. He did 20 points, got 8 rebounds, and I was just like, man, dude, so close. The next game we'll talk about is Arizona versus the 4-seeded Arkansas. And this was, it was a game where like Arizona got a 10, 12-point lead. It stayed that way. It was like, okay, if Arkansas can kind of hang around there, come back in the second half, score a few points, get a couple of stops, this could get interesting because Arkansas does have like high flyers. They have athletic ability all over the basketball court. They also got Acuff and everything else on the team. But this basically turned into a blowout because part of the way through the second half, there was technical fouls called everywhere. Arkansas lost all the composure they had, started doing things all over the place. Like I said, a few technical fouls. Even the coach got teed up, old Calipari, and that happened. They lost all that stuff, made and compounded and made it into a basically a night. Basically it was a blowout. It was a belt to ass moment. Arizona laying it down on Arkansas and just tore them up. Then we have the number 9 seeded Iowa up against the 4-seeded Nebraska. This game was highly contested. It was an interesting game throughout until a big, huge mistake happens towards the end of the game. We got about a minute and a half or so left in the game, and there's a moment where Nebraska didn't send out enough players. The refs didn't see it, so they didn't notice it. They hand the ball off to the Iowa player. He throws it all the way down the court because there's not enough players to cover the whole court, and he gets like a dunk. I think he may have got fouled to be able to get an extra point. That literally became the difference in the game. Iowa ended up just rallying there and making it a 6-point lead, but it was tied ball game or within 2 points almost throughout this entire game. It was just back and forth, and it started out being like a pretty low scoring affair, but they did start having a little bit of a heat up in the offense as the games went on. This is Iowa's first Sweet 16 since 1999. A little bit of a piece of information there, and but yeah, they had that going on for them. Then we had the final game we could talk about is the Illinois versus Houston game. Look, bro, this was a slog fest. This was, I think the score was still 2-0 after the first 5 minutes of the game had already been gone through. That's just kind of ridiculous. I think they went to halftime like one team, like maybe both teams in the 20s, or like one of the teams was like low 30s and the other one was still in the 20s. But it was a defensive battle, and it wasn't the fun kind of defensive battle. Like all blocks were happening everywhere and all that kind of stuff. It really wasn't that kind of game. It was just kind of like rough to watch for most of it. Illinois ended up pulling it away. Houston's offense never even gets going, period. And that's why Illinois is able to beat them by 10. I mean, Houston scored 55 points in this game. That's terrible, man. You in the Sweet 16 and you scoring 55 points for the entire game. But that's how it goes, man. And number 2 seed goes down. So you had a 3 seed make it. You had a 9 seed make it. Arizona, obviously, the number 1 seed blew out, and Purdue, the number 2 seed. So we still have a 9 seed in Iowa still left in the thing. Maybe they would pick up the Cinderella mantle because we don't have a lot of lower seeds in this tournament left. Because tomorrow you're going to get the Duke and St. John's game, which is a 1-5 matchup. You're going to get the Michigan and Alabama game, 1-4 matchup. You're going to get the UConn and Michigan State game, which is a 2-3 matchup, and then Iowa State versus Tennessee, which is a 2-6. If Iowa goes down, then Tennessee is going to be the lowest one left after that. I think Tennessee has a chance to survive and move on. I think Alabama gets their ass kicked. UConn and Michigan State coin flip, and I actually think St. John's has a really good chance to take out Duke. Duke has not impressed me in this tournament at all so far. They really struggled in that first game, and they're just not knocking my socks off. But hey, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about what went on. Do you agree with me that Trey Kaufman-Renn is kind of a flopper? Maybe you don't think that. Maybe you do. I mean, he did score the game-winning basket and everything else, and I don't think what he did was like super egregious, but it was just like, bro, this dude was falling down. Like, it was like the smallest person on the court could barely touch him, and it looked like he got hit by a nuclear blast a couple of times. I was just like, bro, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But with that being said, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, peace. Gotta get used to this thing.